So this is the second case that we can see over here. Now if we put here M6, we will observe that for medium device display reload, the contents are horizontally displayed side by side. Now let's talk about some offset position. How to set some offset position. Offset position is used in case if you wish to move your block of element into a particular container or into a particular row up to a certain value. If we get back to our project, and here for the moment we are practically ignoring this second part here, call M6 is being now ignored. Now if we get back to the official website of Materialize CSS, this is the grid component inside this CSS menu, and we can see that all those things been provided over here. This is the offset condition. So right now all we are going to do, if we put here offset so what exactly is being employed over here? We have instructed our browser to move this particular red element towards the right up to a valuation of 3 columns in case of a smaller device display. So up to this, if we get back to our project, now we can see that there's absolutely no displacement is being occurred in case of this medium device display. But if we switch back to the lower device display, we can see that this block of element, this red block of element is shifted 3 columns to the right in case of a lower device display. But this thing is absent in case the device is now medium width. So for the medium device display device, we can safely say that the block will keep remaining into the same position as been expected, but in case of a lower device display, it will be shifted 3 columns to the right due to we have put this command over here. We have put this instruction that in case of a lower device display, this block should be shifted 3 columns to the right. So instead of 3 columns, if there was 6 columns, and if there was the larger device display instead of a smaller one, we are using a larger device display. So if we reload, we will see that for smaller device display there is practically no shifting towards the right, nothing is being working over here. But if we get back to the medium device display, we will be seeing that the exact same thing is being kept maintained. But in case of larger device display, we can see that there is a shift towards the extreme right for 6 columns wide, as we have instructed the same thing over here. That means for this larger desktop preview, this particular red box is supposed to shift towards the right up to 6 columns. So this is practically the usage of offset position. And another thing, the span of the block element that you are using here, for say this is this call M6, you are practically using a block of 6 columns wide. The offset position that you are putting here, you have asked the browser to shift your content towards right for 6 columns wide. So all these summed up conditions, those must not exceed the total of 12 grid structure as been specified in case of Materialize CSS. Now suppose that we have provided here 6 column wide box and we have put this offset position to be for say 8. That means this block element is supposed to shift 8 columns to the right while it has a 6 columns of wide or span. So keeping it up to this, just remember that 6 plus 8 is equals to 14, which is greater than 12. So get back to your project and reload. and you can see that there is a little shift still now being applied over here. But right now this is practically out of the container that you are using in order to maintain this responsive framework. So just keep this in mind that every time you are putting all those values, this summed up thing, it shouldn't exceed the 12 grid structure as specified in Materialize CSS. If we put here 3, so 6 plus 3 equals to 9. And if we turn on this second block over here and we put here M3, so 6 plus 3 equals to 9 and 9 plus 3 equals to 12. So this is satisfying the 12 grid structure of Materialize CSS, the exact total permissible span as provided in Materialize. If we now get back to our project and reload, now we can see that this extreme left box, it is practically shifted 3 columns to the right, and then comes the second block that is coming into play. And you can see that there is a clear and sharp 3-column gap from this extreme left part of this particular container. So always keep remembering that all these summed up elements, all those summed up values, those must not exceed 12 grid structure of Materialize. Next, we have to think about the order of block elements. That means if we wish to change the order for the lower device display width or for the medium one or for the larger one, then what is the exact instruction that we are going to use over here? This will be discussed.